Hi! So, over the last 10 years, we have coached many women, over 4,000 in fact, to help lose weight, to reclaim their health and to start to feel at home in their own bodies again. I was one of those women that worked with the sports dietitian. So in total, I've lost about 30 kilograms and I have kept it off now since COVID. So 5 years in total. Now, firstly, can I just say, look at the grey hair. I am not some 20-something-year-old influencer. I do not have a six-pack, okay? I had 3 children, the last one of which was £9.9. I'm not going to shout at you about macros and all this stuff. I am menopausal. I have seen what happens when your menopause slows down, when your metabolism slows down and it becomes harder and harder to lose weight. Hormone changes, and motivation just isn't there. So what I'm going to talk to you about, this isn't just theory. This is stuff that I know works because I've lived it. 20 things. We're going to whistle through them. I wish I'd known them a lot earlier, but I found out about them in my 40s and I'm now living them in my 50s. So you're never too old. Number 1, motivation, overrated, habits for the win. You don't need more discipline. You just need processes that work for you. All right. I have always said I can resist anything but temptation. The trick is to remove decision fatigue. We get tired of trying to make good decisions all the time, so make them as easy as possible. Willpower over time does this. It goes. If you have a system, if you have a process that works for you, that is maintainable. Yeah, it's sustainable. Brains love autopilot. How many times have you been driving somewhere and then you suddenly think, did I even go around that roundabout? Because you do it on autopilot. Brains function on autopilot. If you can make good choices automatic, then all of a sudden willpower is not a thing anymore. Set it up so that the right habits become a default for you. Set up the environment for your success, whether that means taking away the things that influence you to make bad choices and making the things that are good choices really easy. It might be as simple as putting your trainers at the side of your bed so it makes you put them on in the morning. Lay out your workout gear. Plan your meals. Focus on consistency, not intensity, alright? So don't try and do all the things all the time. Focus on the little things that you can keep doing over time. It's better to do 10 minutes of walking every single lunchtime than it is to try and do your full 30 minutes one day and then be starving for the rest of the day because you haven't had any lunch, so then you don't do it for the rest of the week. Better to have a 20-minute lunch break and a 10-minute walk that happens 5 days a week than a 30-minute walk that only happens once and then you don't do it. Track your habits as well. Track the things that you are doing over time, not just weight. Weight is a fickle friend. We are women. I don't know about you guys, I can gain 3 pounds before breakfast and lose them after going to the toilet. Water retention is a thing. Bloating is a thing, okay? We know this as females, the times of the month. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that so much now. I am menopausal, but historically I could go from almost flat to out here in the blink of an eye. So don't just track weight. Scales are a fickle friend. Build words that you can say. So don't say things like I'm trying to lose weight or I'm being good or I'm on a diet. Say stuff like I am a person who takes care of their body. I am a person that makes healthy choices. I am a person that is making choices that future me will thank me for. Yeah, talk to yourself different, use different dialogue, because motivation, like I say, overrated. These little habit changes, these are what sticks. Number 2, fad diets work fast. Believe you and me, they'll backfire hard and fast. Alright? Sustainability matters far more than speed. You can lose a lot of weight fast, but what's the point if you've got it all back on in 3 months? Okay? Surely it's better to lose that 5-6 stone over the space of a year and a year and a half and then still have it gone 5 years later rather than lose it all in 6 months and then in a year's time it's all back on. Make sense? Quick fixes, really intense weight loss, it just ruins your metabolism, okay? You start losing muscle mass as well as actual fat, and then you burn less calories at rest. So that whole cyclical thing, lose weight, regain, it not only does it wreck your metabolism, but it wrecks your brain, your motivation and everything as well, because you start to call yourself a person that can't lose weight, a person that fails, and that's not healthy. That's not good for you, okay? Fad diets get you to lose weight fast, but then often you regain it plus. I certainly know I did. You start to fear food. You start to look at food as good and bad instead of just looking at it as fuel. Food becomes emotional. And I don't know about you, but I'm already an emotional eater. I don't need any help with that. To get fat loss, sustainably over time, it comes from consistency and little changes that you can keep doing, not from extreme behaviour. Your plan, your habits that we mentioned, your systems have to work on a busy, stressful Tuesday as much as they do on a Sunday afternoon when you're chilling with family. Any plan that you try and follow that cuts out your favourite things is not going to work long term. If your very, very favourite thing in the world is a bag of salted crisps every so often, if you ban yourself from ever having them again, at some point you will cave and eat a giant packet of them. Alright? So don't cut out your favourites. It's soul destroyed. Life's too short to not do anything that brings you joy anyway. You need a flexible system that adapts and changes depending on what season of your life you're in, not a rigid set of rules and regulations which really you end up destined to just break. Cheat code number 3, walk more than you think you need to. Okay? Walking is the most underrated exercise that you can possibly do in your 50s, alright? Getting out, especially outside, especially in nature, right? It reduces cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So getting out into nature, walking reduces the stress hormone of cortisol, unless of course you're terrified of nature, in which case it won't work, but generally most of us aren't, alright? And if we're in menopause or perimenopause, lowering cortisol is really, really important. Stress impacts on sex hormones and they impact on stress, and it all becomes this vicious circle. We're not going to get into it now, but honestly, walking, get out there in nature, bring them stress levels down. It's marvellous. The more you keep moving, not sweating your puddings out in a gym for 30 minutes, but all day, gentle movement all day, lots and lots of little walks, little steps, whether it's going upstairs to the loo instead of using the downstairs one, walking or getting off the bus a stop earlier or whatever it is, it boosts your NEAT, non-exercise activity. The more we can boost that up, the more generally overall active you are, the better. Okay, that's going to burn more calories on an ongoing basis than sweating your pud off in a gym for half an hour. Also, walking just improves digestion, it improves joint mobility, it improves stamina, especially if you get your heart rate up a little bit. It's just, say, if you get out in nature, it's just good for your soul. You do not need a gym. All you need is a comfy pair of shoes and possibly some headphones, unless you live somewhere. I've got woods near me and I love walking through the woods without headphones in. You just hear the birds every night. You're a woodpecker. It's lovely. Start with just as many steps as you're doing, just try and add some more on. Sometimes people say start with 6,000, start with 10,000 or whatever, but it depends where you're at now. If your average steps per day is 100, then starting at 6,000 is not. It's scary, too much for you. Okay, so just increase day by day, week by week. Just look for an increase in your steps. Don't underestimate the power of a short walk. You don't have to get out there and do 10, an hour. Do 10 minutes. It's better than now, and just keep doing 10 minutes. One of the things that I like to do is put music on and just dance about 3 minutes song. But honestly, if you do it every hour through the day, like when I'm working and sat at the computer all day, boost your steps up, and it just breaks the day up as well. And dancing about breaks me smile. It makes me happy. Use walking as your go-to. If you are stuck, if you are stressed, if you are bloated, if you are angry, let walking become your go-to coping strategy. It's really good for that. Number 4, strength training changes everything. And I didn't think that. I used to go to HIIT classes. I used to try and run and end up injured and generally go and get all this sweaty stuff, right? Muscle equals metabolism. The more muscle you've got, the higher your metabolism is, the more you are burning fat at rest. Once we are women and we hit perimenopause, our muscle mass starts to plummet. Okay, so if we start lifting some weight, we can stave that off. So it's not only good for your bones and reducing the risk of osteoporosis, but it just means that you burn more calories even when you are sat down. Okay, also doing some resistance training, some strength training, it protects your joints. It means that you look after your joints better, everything is held in place better. It means that your balance is better. You will not bulk. All right, you need to lift an awful lot of weights and do like specialist diets and stuff to start looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Honestly, don't stress about that. Okay, 2-3 full body sessions that work most of your muscles, fantastic. Prioritize things that work lots of muscles together, because let's face it, we're very busy people. Why work out a bicep and then another bicep if we can do an exercise that works lots of different muscles at the same time? So if you think about a squat, okay, it does calves, it does thigh muscles, it does bum muscles, it does core muscles, all these things, okay, pressing things, rowing things, it all works big chunks of muscle at the same time. Work smarter, not harder, always. it does change your body shape as well. Strength training changes your body shape more than cardio ever will, and that in itself can then mean that it boosts your confidence. You are not too old. Honestly, I have gone into and walked straight out of many gyms over the years because I've walked in and got that look. You know this one from the receptionist, right? Just ignore it. Find a gym that they don't do that. I found a wonderful one where I used to live and it just made me at home, and now I don't care. But it takes a little while. Keep trying gyms until you find one that suits you. But you don't even need to find a gym. You can do strength training at home. You've got a body, it weighs stuff, you move it around. That's strength training, okay? There's so much information out there to help you, okay? So you don't have to go to a gym, but you do. Honestly, strength training, game changer. Number 5, cheat code number 5, eat far more protein than you think you need, okay? Aim for about 100 grams a day. Protein keeps you fuller for longer. It also protects your muscle. When you're losing weight, we don't want to lose muscle because muscle burns calories at rest, okay? So eating protein helps to protect that from happening. It helps with our hormones, always good for a woman of a certain age. Anything that helps stabilize hormones is good. It's much harder to overeat if your protein levels are up because it is satiating. It does keep you full. Track your protein just out of interest. You don't have to track all the time, but just track your protein for a couple of days and see how much you're eating. You'll be surprised how little protein we actually eat. We eat far much more carbohydrates, okay? Every meal should have a source of protein in it, whether it's nuts or meat or seeds or whatever. Just, beans. Get a source of protein and then build the meal around that. No exceptions, even snacks. Number 6, that does not mean carbs are the enemy. Carbs are not the enemy, they are good. Carbs are good. Confusion is the enemy. Carbs fuel you. They fuel your workouts, they fuel your brain, they fuel your mood. Okay, we want to eat more protein, but we do not want to cut out carbs. Just pair your carbs with protein. Don't eat all protein, okay? Pair it up with some protein and carbohydrate because this helps to stabilize and keep everything on an even keel. It keeps blood sugars on an even keel. Try and think about complex carbs, they call them. Sweet potato, oats, quinoa, that kind of stuff. Does anybody else still want to call it quinoa? I remember when I first found out that it was pronounced quinoa. Who knew? Anyway, spelt quinoa, innit? But yeah, try and pair these things up. Alright, pair your protein with your carbs and eat the complex carbs. Carbs are also sugar. A spoonful of sugar is carbs, alright? But that's not a complex carb. It's very quick hitting your body. You want things that your body takes a little while to digest, alright? Get rid of this low carb, faster fat loss equation from your brain. It's nonsense, alright? Because actually, if you go low carb for any length of time, you're going to end up binging out at some point, yeah? And menopause is not a carb death sentence. You do not have to cut out bread and potatoes and pasta just because you're in perimenopause, all right? Gosh, I think I wouldn't live my life if I didn't have some bread pasta and potatoes, So it's all about balance. Everything is all about balance. Learn to love carbs again. Don't be scared of them, all right? Cheat code number 7, stop snacking and start eating real meals. Now, I'm not saying stop snacking altogether because actually you can snack and eat real meals so long as your snacks aren't these big bombs of sugar. Okay, it can be very easy to skip meals and then just graze, and the grazing tends to be not protein based, it tends to be carb based and often sugary and sweet, okay? If you only ever eat a small meal, you constantly feel hungry and then you're constantly thinking about food and looking for food, and that's when we start getting this grazing thing going on, okay? If you eat, you get an insulin spike, okay? And then if you keep having little bits of food, it keeps that up, okay? So 3 decent meals a day with protein, with fibre, with some carbs, with healthy fats, yeah, like avocado and stuff like that. Eat your 3 meals a day. Keep sugary, snacky treats out of the house. Set up your environment to win. This goes back to the first one where we're talking about making the good stuff easy. Okay, if you are bored, you find yourself going to the fridge. I know I do this. This is where that 10-minute walk comes in. If I'm still hungry after I've walked once around the block, then I'll think about it. Distraction. Am I actually hungry? Am I just bored? Am I avoiding something? Make sense? Number 8, your gut health is your fat loss superpower. What do we mean by that then? If your gut is healthy, your hormones are better managed, your cravings settle down, and your fat burning is consistent. Okay? Add plenty of fibre to your diet. Seeds, vegetables, pulses. And a healthy amount of fibre needs to be in your diet to look after good health. Try and include some fermented foods, whether that's sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, all this sort of stuff. It does help. Ultra processed stuff, we try and minimise it. Think like Mediterranean diet, think fresh things. It's better to have something fresh and pickled that's good for your gut health rather than buying very expensive little things that say gut health on them. Okay, natural's always better. I think we all know that deep down, even though sometimes it feels like the processed is better because it has better advertising. Okay, if you suffer with bloating, with IBS, with wind, with tiredness, all this kind of stuff, it's not normal. Okay, it's a health issue, and if we eat unprocessed foods, if we try and look after our gut health, body will thank us for it. Okay, other things that impact on your gut health, things like stress, things like sleep. You know, if you start looking after your body, and that means your gut as well, it starts to be able to look after you a little bit as well. Treat your body well. It's done you good. You know, sometimes we might curse it, but without it we'd be a little bit scuppered, so look after it. Okay, cheat code number 9. Stress is the fat loss killer that doesn't get talked about. Stress is an awful thing, and you cannot out diet your nervous system. If your cortisol, stress hormone, is really high, it will block off weight loss, because your body goes into this, oh gosh, I'm so stressed, I might be at risk of dying, I need to store all the things. Okay, it's kind of a leftover caveman reaction. All right, if you are constantly under stress, your hunger levels will be all over the place. Your body will store fat to look after you in case there's a famine coming. All right, you need your nervous system to be on your side if you want to lose weight. Prioritize things like breath work, like journaling, like walks, like baths, anything that chills you out if you want to lose weight. Self-care is an important part of losing weight. I get my nails done. I go and I have an hour and a half where I sit there and get my nails done, and it's my little treat to myself, and I love it. Say no more often. A learned skill, a tricky skill, something I still struggle with, but saying no, yeah, really good for stress, and therefore also good for you. Remember, sometimes you ain't broken, you're just exhausted. All right, so sometimes you just need to take a break. Cut yourself some slack. All right, calm your body, calm your mind, and then things sometimes start to work out a bit better. Number 10, sleep is as powerful, if not more so, than your workouts. All right, if you are sleeping badly, it doesn't matter what you do, it probably won't work, and it won't work for a sustainable period of time. Okay, if you are not sleeping, you're going to be tired. If you are tired, you're going to get hunger. You're going to think that you need energy. You're going to start looking for the sugary fix to get that energy. Okay, motivation, mood, metabolism, all of this kind of stuff all goes haywire if we're not getting enough sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, right, isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Screens before bed, the old phone, okay, try and limit that. Okay, if you've got this with you in bed, it's not going to go well in terms of your sleep. You often don't need more cardio if you're tired and groggy and not losing weight. You don't need to go to the gym and sweat more. What you need is more recovery time. If you sleep better, you eat better, you feel better. It's just true. Cheat code number 11, stop chasing the scales. Track all the wins across many different ways. Scales are fickle friends, as we've said. The scale does not tell the whole story. We are women. Our weight can fluctuate for absolutely no reason. I could sit here for 5 minutes and weigh myself, and before I sit for 5 minutes and after, and I could have gained I don't know how much, or lost I don't know how much. It's ridiculous. All right, hormones, salt, stress, lack of sleep, how much water we've had, whether we had a big dinner the night before, whether we need a poo, all these things affect your weight. All right, you can lose inches, you can gain strength, and the scales can stay absolutely the same. And if you're just tracking the scales, you end up disappointed and feel like you're not achieving. where actually you could have dropped a dress size. Track your energy levels, track your mood, track your sleep, track your dress size, track your measurements, track how much weight you can lift, track things like being able to get up out of the chair without using your hands. Take weekly photographs, however unpleasant that might be, and compare them. Yeah, celebrate stuff like, today I managed to hit my 100 grams of protein for the first time. Today was the 5th day in a row where I had a 15-minute walk in my lunch break. Yeah, celebrate those wins, okay? Stop obsessing over £2, £1, all right? It makes you quit what's actually working, because I swear to down, if you have a more carbohydrate heavy meal the night before and then you get up and you don't go to the toilet before you do your weekly weigh-in, you potentially have gained £2 and you're going to feel devastated, right? Honestly, if you stand back on the scales a bit later in the day after you've had a poo, you might have lost it again. So please don't let the scale lie to you. Scales are fickle friends. Track all the other things. They're so much more reliable. Cheat code number 12. Environment will beat willpower every day of the week. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. If it's not in your house, it's harder to get it in your mouth. All right? Clear out the junk. You don't need better control. You don't need better willpower. You need fewer temptations. Keep your protein in sight. Hide the sugary snacks. If you have to have them in for somebody else, put them elsewhere. Put them out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. Prepare your food in advance. If you can't prepare your food in advance, at least prepare a plan. Because otherwise you get that, oh, what's for dinner? Oh, I don't know, I can't be bothered. Oh, let's just buy this, or let's just do this because it's easy. All right? I don't know about you, but I always cook for the family, and choosing what to have is the hardest thing. So sometimes on a Sunday, I'll get out recipe books and I just go through them and I pick 5 meals. I just open a page and pick 5 meals, and then I shop according to it, and that's what we're having. So much easier, that whole what are we going to have stress. Set reminders, set sticky notes, set timers, to help you. Put a note on your fridge. Are you hungry? Go for a walk first. Whatever it is. And surround yourself with the people that support your goals, okay? So this is all about curating your environment. If there are things on your Facebook, people on your Facebook that drag you down, snooze them. Don't follow them anymore. You don't have to unfriend them. You can just unfollow them. Follow people that inspire you, okay? Surround yourself with the people that go, yay you, not the people go, alright? Willpower is short-term things, okay? Your environment lasts, so make it work. Make it really hard to fail, yeah? Make it really easy to succeed. And if you want to find an environment that is supportive, that is going to help you, then join the weight loss support group, okay? There are literally thousands of other women in there, just like you, just like me. I'm in there, little live every morning that just sets you up for the day, okay? Just good stuff. Surround yourself with positive stuff. Cheat code number 13, you do not have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. This one took some learning for me. Miss Perfectionist here. Stop starting over and just start showing up, alright? You are better off being 80% on it all the time than 100% for a week and then 0% for a week, right? Because 100%, if I'm perfect this week but then I throw the baby out with the bathwater the following week, over the fortnight I've averaged out at 50%. Whereas if I just achieve 80% consistency this week and 80% consistency next week and 80% the week after, overall my effort level is at 80%. Make sense? This is a big deal. Life happens. We are busy people with a lot going on, so life happens. Build a plan that will bend without breaking, and if it does break, just dust yourself off, reassess, where did it go wrong, get back on the horse. Okay? One bad day does not ruin a week unless you choose to let it. Yeah? One skipped walk doesn't mean there's no point walking for the rest of the week. It means, hey, life was busy today, so I'll just get up and walk tomorrow. Okay? Focus on the next win, not the last wobble. Always. Your body, your brain will notice what you do most of the time, not what you do infrequently. So just keep doing the little things that make a difference. Try and let go of that all or nothing approach to life. Choose to do something all the time rather than everything, because you end up doing everything none of the time. Okay? Progress over perfection. That is where you want to be every time. All right? Number 14, cheat code 14, stop doing workouts that wreck your body. All right? Pain does not have to be equal to progress. All right? If it's hurting your knees, if it's hurting your back, if it's hurting your hips, then it's not good for you. Okay? Menopausal joints need strength, not stress. You don't have to do burpees to lose weight. resistance bands, and good form. Progress comes from stimulating muscles, not making yourself sore, guys. Change it up. Find stuff that works for you. Modify. Don't give up, okay? Long-term health is what we are working towards, not a short-term sweat. Short-term sweat is not what we want. What we want is long-term health. You are doing exercise to feel good, to feel stronger, to maintain your independence, not to crawl out of class, okay? Not to burn calories even. Number 15, cheat code number 15, learn to eat like the woman you want to be, okay? Eat for who you are, not the impulse. It's so easy, isn't it, to think, oh, I just fancy, okay? But think about what future you would eat. What would future you thank today you eat for eating? Okay, future you is going to thank you for eating a nice balanced meal that you enjoy, not some diet bar, a chocolate bar. Yeah, the woman you want to be plans ahead. She has her protein regularly. She knows the things that she does on a day-to-day basis that work. She doesn't binge on a weekend. Yeah, because she's not deprived through the week. She works on the principle that a little bit of what you fancy does you good. She says to herself before she adds something that she maybe knows isn't in line with her goals, she'll say to herself, would my fittest self choose this? And sometimes she would, but sometimes she go, no, I don't want it that much. And that's okay. Yeah, progress happens when your decisions that you are making marry up with where you want to be, okay? Don't wait to be motivated because it'll never come. Start to act like future you now, okay? Because who you are and who you want to be will drive your behaviour. You'll start to become who you want to be. Number 16, you don't need another diet. You need a different coach, okay? Google gives you information. Coaching gives you the transformation, right? You already know what to do. Most of us already know pretty much the kind of stuff we need to do to lose weight, but we just don't do it. That's the truth of it. We know what we need to do, so why the heck don't we just get on and do it, all right? Having a coach gives you that accountability. It closes the gap between knowing what you need to do and actually getting off your butt and doing it, okay? A great coach will point out the things that you are blinkered to, the things that you can't see, and they'll call you out on it. It might sometimes be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's things you need to hear. You don't need rules and tellings off. What you need is somebody that believes you can do it and somebody that supports you and gives you the structure, okay? Doing it by yourself, losing weight by yourself is hard. It really is hard. It's slow and it's hard and it can be soul destroying. You deserve help and you deserve results, all right? Everybody does. Asking for help is one of the bravest things that you can possibly do. It's not weakness to ask for help. It's a sensible thing to do. Let's face it, a lot of us as females, it's not something we can sit comfortably with. We very much usually get on and do it ourselves, okay? But if you want some additional support, join the free group, all right? And just have a look. There's stuff out there for you, all right? Cheat code number 17. Get a toolbox, not a rule book. What do I even mean by that, all right? When life gets messy, because messy happens, we all know this, right? When life gets messy, what you need is not a rule book where when you break the rules you then feel guilty and then you spiral into this kind of like, oh, well, I've ruined it now, I might as well do whatever. What you need is a tool, okay? So maybe you get really bad PMS. Maybe you absolutely crave chocolate for like a couple of days every month. Okay, find a high protein chocolate shake that you really love and keep some in the house for when that chocolate craving hits. That's a tool, okay? Not I'm not allowed to eat chocolate anymore. That is a tool that you can use. Maybe it's when you go in the car, okay, and you go to the fuel station and you see all the sweets and chocolates there. That's you're traveling and so right, okay, always keep water in the car. Maybe keep sugar-free chewing gum in the car so that when you go to fill up, when you go in, you shove a little lump of sugar-free chewing gum in your gum and you chew it, because then you've got that little sweet hit in your mouth and you don't feel as tempted by all the sweety things that you see, okay? Maybe it's insomnia, okay? Right, so prioritize your protein, prioritize your steps. These things are going to help you. If you exercise, it's going to make you feel more tired. You might sleep better. Or just accept it rather than getting frustrated and thinking to yourself, oh, I can't sleep, I might as well just go and make myself a snack. Go for a walk. Hopefully you live somewhere where you can walk at night. Get a little treadmill and get up and just do a 10-minute walk on your treadmill in the house before you go back to bed. All right, it can tire you out. Maybe it's a social event rather than, oh, I can't go, or avoiding it. You can't live your entire life without going to another wedding or any other thing with a buffet. Take any social event with a buffet. It's going to happen. happen. So have a strategy. Eat a good meal before you go. Drink lots of water. Yeah, just don't go into the I'll do whatever and then start again Monday philosophy. That's not helpful. All right, if it's been an emotional day, then go for a walk. That's a good strategy. A good strategy to deal with stress is just walk instead of fridge. Every single challenge that you can face in your life is going to have something that is a possible workaround, and sometimes you won't do the workaround. Sometimes you'll fall into the old habits. All right, that happens. Dust yourself off, stand up, get up, dust off, go again. All right, remember, it's important that we just keep going and do what we can, and we don't beat ourselves up if we mess up. Progress is better than perfection. Remember, number 18, being slimmer, losing fat does not make you happy. You are not defined by your weight. Okay, the scale drops, then what? Right? It's not about losing weight, it's about who you're becoming. That's what makes you happy. Okay, being strong is empowering, being independent is empowering, being confident, being capable, being your own woman, all this stuff is the stuff that helps and makes you happy. Being a size 8, a size 10, a size 12, a size 14, a size 16, whatever your goal is, doesn't make you happy unless you work on being happy. Okay, who you are is far more important than what size you are. So try not to get skinny. Work on being strong, being independent, being confident, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, lift the weight, set the goals, whatever it is, whether it's run 5k, do a deadlift of whatever size. Become who you want to be, not what you want to be in terms of your size. All right, it's more important. And remember, number 19, if it ain't worked this far, that's not because you're broken, it's because the processes and the systems you were using weren't working for you. Okay, you are not broken. You are not the problem. We live in a world with diet culture. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with advertisements for sweets and chocolates and cake, and we live in a world of highly processed, convenient, nutrient thin, calorie dense foods. All right, this is where we live. Your metabolism isn't dead, it's just confused by all the stuff that's going on around us and the stuff we put in our body. You don't need to do more, you need to do different. Okay, there is better way, and changing and achieving what you want to achieve in terms of your strength, your independence, your size, whatever it is. Okay, don't think, because I'm over 50 I can't do it, because I'm over 40 I can't do it. All right, just need the right sort of support and the right sort of information. Your body is a machine. If you fuel it well, it works well. If we don't fuel it well, it doesn't work so well. Okay, it's not too late, you are not too far gone. This time it can be different because you can be different. Last one. A lot of the time we talk about weight loss. Weight loss often is just the beginning. What we're actually wanting is freedom. Freedom from being held back by our weight. I was held back by pain. My weight meant that I had arthritic pain, I had ankle pain, I had knee pain, I had hip pain, and it stopped me from doing things. It also meant that I was afraid of doing certain things because I thought I would look silly doing them. Yeah, my freedom to shop in any shop was limited because a lot of shops didn't have size 22, size 24 dresses, so I was limited. Okay, you're not chasing a smaller body a lot of the time, we're chasing more choice, more freedom, more options. Okay, so yes, fat loss is part of that for many of us, but it's not the be all and end all of everything. Okay, when you commit to making changes, when you commit to living that bigger life, then things start to happen, things start to shift. Okay, so working with these guys that I'm doing this video for, it changed my life hugely, and it could change yours. Okay, don't wait for the new year or Monday or next summer or when I turn 40 or whatever. Just start. We spend so long, don't we, going, I'll do it when. It's never the right time, guys. It's just time. There is no right time. Yeah, so if anything I've said has hit home, and I hope at least one or two of them might have hit home for you, then don't just let this be another good video, something that you scroll on past. All right, if you want some support, if you want some accountability, if you want some results, click on the link. Join the free support group. Have a look at all the information in there. Talk to the people. Come to the lives. You don't have to do it by yourself. Thank you for listening. Enjoy.